Today I'm going to briefly explain how to make a slideshow using Adobe Lightroom. First thing you want to do is collect the images you want to use in your slideshow in a folder and place them somewhere where they are going to live, because if you move them later on, Lightroom won't be able to find them. Then come here to the bottom left-hand corner of the library module and click Import, and your images will quickly appear. I generally work with full resolution JPEGs for making a slideshow. Next thing is to create a collection, and this allows you to order them. In other words, decide on the sequence of your slideshow using the library module. Of course, you can always come back and change it later on. Then click on the slideshow module and begin working on your actual slideshow. The nice thing about Lightroom is that it's simple, but it's not dumb. It has a lot of good options, but it doesn't have too many options. There are certainly more sophisticated software programs which you are welcome to use for making a slideshow, but Lightroom has good choices and not an overwhelming amount of choices. And you can see all those choices over here on the right panel. So the first choice I'm going to make is determine what's the background look like? What's the layout? I could, for example, just have the image or a black border around the image. I could have a big black border around the image. Generally speaking, I like to use the screen setting because that works nicely with most computers, and not too big, but a little bit of a frame. And once I've established that, I determine the background color. Now I click on here. I could make that white. I could make it gray. I could make it red. I could even have a color wash if I wanted to use this tool here. I don't generally like that. I could have another image as a background by dragging that in here. But generally speaking, I want to simulate how it will actually look, how a traditional slideshow would have looked in a darkened room, and that would be a black border. Next decision is titles. And so basically, by clicking edit, I can type in anything I want here, decide on the font, the quality of the font, the size of the font, and all of that I can change later on if when I do my preview it doesn't look right. Which I did actually. I spent quite some time getting the font just right. Again, I stuck with the black background and white type, but I could have had colored font if I wanted. I can quickly change that here if I wanted to. Okay. Next thing is, do I want to end with some text? Usually I like to end with some credits, particularly if I'm giving someone else credit. I'm going to make sure that's included somewhere. And so this is where I would do that. I can, again, just edit here and type in whatever I want. Same choices I had with the title. Moving along, I generally find that music provides the glue, is sort of the glue that holds the images together in a slideshow. And in this particular slideshow, I recorded my own music for copyright purposes, even though there are certainly people who can play this piece of music much better than I. Uh, how do you add it? You simply click on this button, and then it asks you, where you're going to bring it in from, and you click on that, and it will appear here. And then probably you're going to spend a considerable amount of time figuring out how to space out those slides so they work well with that piece of music. And so I ended up using a slide length of 4.5 seconds and crossfades of 4 seconds, both of which are longer than I normally would. But I wanted a slow moving slideshow, which was kind of dreamy and illusory looking. And this wouldn't have happened if my crossfades were 0 seconds. It would just be cutting from one picture to the next. Normally I don't use a pan and zoom. In this case I did, because it adds a slight movement as the pictures go along. The reason I normally don't use it is because I'm very careful in my compositions, and I don't want the software to be randomly changing my or cropping my images. So here I kept it at an absolute low, and that worked out well. I can set it up here to repeat the slideshow as soon as it's over, or I can set it up to randomly pick the slides. I don't know why anybody would do that, but sure, why not? You might find some interesting surprises. In any event, usually I go for a high quality, and usually the only thing is when you export your video, the button is over here on the bottom left, you want to be sure to pick the quality for the destination. So in this case, my destination is going to be YouTube, so I may use a lower quality than I would for a gallery kind of situation. Okay, so next I'm going to play it and take a look at how things are working. Now the audio is not going to work in this kind of screenshot video, but you get an idea of what it looks like. And I encourage you to take a look at my YouTube video, SOCON, which I've already posted on YouTube, to see the final version of this slideshow. Once you're done previewing, just simply hit the escape button, and that returns you to your slideshow module. Probably you're going to want to make changes, many changes. Try different versions, different basically mixes of this slideshow until you come up with the one you like best. And then you're ready to click on the export video button, and you can choose what size you want. So if it's just something for telephone, cell phone, you're going to use a small size. Something for YouTube, maybe 720. Something for a gallery, 1080. Okay, so that completes the demo on how to make a slideshow in Adobe Lightroom. I hope it has been helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know and I'll get right back to you. Take care and have a wonderful day.